this evening, sponsored by Corpse, bringing value home. Guyana and the CARICOM concerned over U.S. sanctions on Cuban medical brigades. President Ali urges Guyanese to emulate a character of peace, humility, and righteousness during Ramadan. Jagdeo turns down Georgetown mayor's proposal to re-evaluate properties as a means of increasing revenue. And Mayor Mentor fires back at Jagdeo for pouring cold water on his re-evaluation of property tax proposal, accuses the General Secretary of micromanaging. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Aletha Grant with the Friday, 28 February 2025 edition of the HGP Nightly News. This is what you need to know this evening. The Guyana government, along with the Caribbean community CARICOM, is concerned about the potential impact U.S. visa sanctions will have on countries that utilize Cuba's overseas medical missions. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic Barrett Jagdeo emphasized the need for regional leaders to engage in joint dialogue with the U.S. amid concerns. Tiana Cole has the details.
General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic Barrett Jagdeo, during his weekly news conference on Thursday, said it is imperative for CARICOM leaders to engage the U.S. on the implications of such sanctions. He added that the issue is not unique to Guyana, as the U.S. government's new position could impact countries across the Caribbean region.
It transcends administrations, political administrations, and a long period of history have had Cuban medical brigades in their country. So it is an issue that will affect every country in our region, every single country, not just in CARICOM, many other countries around the world.
Jagdeo noted that CARICOM heads of government have already discussed the issue and recognized the importance of maintaining a strong relationship with the Trump administration.
There was an agreement to engage the Trump administration on a number of issues because we felt that President Trump should see the regions not to the eyes of third party, but through directly get views from the leaders of the region.
He further stated that the U.S. Secretary of State has been in communication with several regional leaders, including President Irfan Ali, and that Guyana will be part of a collective CARICOM approach to engage in the U.S. administration, either through direct dialogue with the U.S. State Department or the White House. The Vice President emphasized that many countries in the region, including Guyana, have benefited from the Cuban Medical Brigade.
The Cuban presence, or medical presence, in the Caribbean has been there for a very, very long time and has transcended several U.S. administrations. The Cuban medical presence in the region has had some positive impact on healthcare delivery across the region.
On Tuesday, the United States expanded visa restrictions over Cuba's dispatch of doctors overseas, a program Havana views as a source of influence and revenue, but which has long faced accusations of exploitation. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a Cuban-American and outspoken critic of the Cuban government, announced that the U.S. will now also impose visa bans on foreign government officials who support the program. Cuba has sent hundreds of doctors to Guyana over the years, while many Guyanese medical professionals have also received scholarships to study in Cuba. According to Cuba official figures, Cuba deployed 22,632 medical professionals to 57 countries in 2023. The program generated $6.3 billion in 2018 and $3.9 billion in 2020, with some of the earnings coming in from oil from Venezuela. Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Antonio Day will now tell us that President Irfan Ali reminded that the month of Ramadan should be used as a time to demonstrate humility, peace, and love as Muslims from all walks of life observe this holy month.
We have the ability to be an asset to humanity each day of our life. It gives us that opportunity to understand very clearly what hunger and thirst feels like, so that we can develop a sense of empathy, a sense of understanding.
Head of State Irfan Ali during the opening of the 2025 Ramadan Village on the lawns of the Muslim Youth Organization, MYO, on Thursday. President Ali referred to the Holy Quran, where there are core principles of righteousness and justice. Ramadan is more than just fasting or giving up food for 12 hours, the head of state said, adding that it gives Muslims a sense of purpose when they see people living in vulnerable and unfortunate circumstances.
Fasting itself does not lead to righteousness. Fasting allows us a space and an opportunity and an environment and a state of mind that allows us to journey onto the path of righteousness.
President Ali, speaking to a group of friends and family wearing jubas and other Islamic clothing, urged all and sundry to seek forgiveness and to build character during and after the month of Ramadan. These qualities, the head of state noted, must be showcased daily.
That this month is a gift from God. It is an opportunity to reset our priorities, to seek forgiveness for our shortcomings, and to strive for excellence.
The Central Islamic Organization of Ghana, CIOG, the Ghana Islamic Trust, GIT, the Muslim Youth Organization of Ghana, MYO, and the government of Ghana collaborated to create the Ramadan Village. The event, which is in its second year, featured prayers and recitations of the Quran by a number of imams and Islamic leaders locally and internationally. I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
The Ministry of Health has launched a multi-hazard emergency management plan aimed at strengthening the country's capacity to respond to public health challenges. Tiana Cole reports.
Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony delivering the feature remarks at the launch of the multi-hazard emergency management plan highlighted the government's plan in handling hazardous materials, upgrading laboratory facilities, and integrating health information systems to enhance efficiency. Dr. Anthony acknowledged that the current methods of transporting hazardous materials within the health sector are not ideal, and as such, resources have been allocated in this regard.
We have set aside resources over the next year or two to be able to improve that transport system so that it can be done in the safest possible way.
Additionally, Dr. Anthony emphasized ongoing investments to upgrade the National Public Health Reference Lab. Once enhanced, the facility will allow medical practitioners to conduct pathogenic tests locally instead of sending samples abroad. The lab is being upgraded to a Level 3 facility, which will enable it to handle tests for specific pathogens.
By upgrading the lab to this level, we'll now be able to do these tests on our own. And right now, if we have to do some of these things, we probably would have to send them abroad. But we want to develop the capacity so that we can do that right here.
He further noted the need for an integrated system to facilitate information sharing across health facilities. Currently, data is being managed through a paper-based system, but efforts are underway to transition it to an electronic system for improved efficiency.
Maybe within the next year or so, is to have an electronic setup where all our labs would be fully integrated electronically so that information can be shared.
With a National Public Health Reference Lab now accredited by the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, Dr. Anthony announced that it has been officially recognized as a National Influenza Center. This designation allows the facility to conduct and analyze influenza samples from various sites across the country.
For the first time, the National Public Health Lab has been recognized as a National Influenza Center, and we have several sites across the country that can actually collect samples and send them to us.
Tiana Cole reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Join us after this break for more news.
Welcome to SNL Electrical Inc., where lighting and electrical needs are met with expertise and style. From the latest in electrical lamps to durable cables, circuit breakers, panels, we have it all. Illuminate your space with our elegant chandeliers, stunning crystal lights, and versatile pole lights. Looking to upgrade your comfort? Explore top-of-the-line AC units and our diverse selections of stylish styles. Visit us at 170-180 Thomas Street, Kitty, Georgetown. Discover a solution that not only lights up your world but transforms it. Call us on telephone number 226-3018 or 223-1634. SNL Electrical Inc. powering your life with elegance, quality, and care.
With 70% ethyl alcohol, Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer eliminates 99.99% of all germs and even moisturizes in the process, leaving your skin clean and hydrated. Mighty Foam Hand Sanitizer. How do you stay clean?
Krishna Rock Establishment. No job is too small or too large. We specialize in all types of fabricating, machinery, excavator repairs, rice field pumps, and hydraulic hoses. Visit us at Lot 113, Block CC Monrepo, East Coast, Demerara, or call 220-9624, 616-9416, or 619-7880. At Krishna Rock Establishment, no job is too small or too large.
You're watching the HGP Nightly News. Welcome back. General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic Barrett Jagdeo says government will not approve the re-evaluation of properties as was announced by City Mayor Alfred Mentor. Daisy Richards has that story.
General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Civic Barrett Jagdeo, had this to say on Thursday after Mayor of Georgetown, Alfred Mentor, announced plans to reevaluate properties in Georgetown.
If they have approached the Ministry of Finance to have that done, then the answer will be no.
After his very blatant response on the subject matter, he added that the government will not accept the proposal.
I want the residents of Georgetown evaluation exercise.
Jagdeo believes that the mayor's mention of persons speaking to him and members of the board to pay their rates and taxes is a hoax.
That is a recipe for corruption. Because if you can go in and negotiate a particular deal, then based on previous experience, people walk away with different deals from the city council.
He claimed that religious institutions received demand notices to pay increased rates and taxes. Mayor Mentor on Tuesday in the city council statutory meeting issued a threat to property owners that it will be taking legal action if outstanding rates and taxes aren't paid. He also mentioned that the council will establish payment plans for businesses with large outstanding balances. Mentor explained that a number of persons are not paying their fair share of taxes, which is putting a strain on the city's revenue stream. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
Meanwhile, Mayor of Georgetown Alfred Mentor has fired back at General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party Civic Barrett Jagdeo for pouring cold water on his proposed re-evaluation of properties in an effort to expand the council's revenue base. Here again is Daisy Richards.
Georgetown Mayor Alfred Mentor, during a press conference on Friday, accused the General Secretary of the People's Progressive Party, Civic, of being oblivious to the inner workings of the council. The mayor was firing back after Mr. Jagdeo publicly turned down his proposal, which would see properties reevaluated in an effort to increase rates and taxes.
Had he understood the direction that we are taking as a body, he would not have stated that, because our aim is never to address a whole revaluation of the city.
Mayor Mentor highlighted that Jagdeo has no respect for the mayor and city council based on his response.
But for him to make or preempt or try to play politics with the council, I found that very disrespectful. I also found it to be him inveigling himself in the business of the council to try to micromanage it.
With approximately 45% of property owners not paying taxes, the mayor said they are only going to focus on that percentage.
We can't have 55% of the people of citizens and homeowners honoring their response, which include pensioners. But there are a number of other major players who are not paying their rates of taxes. And then I would see the Honorable Vice President chose to speak to telling them, don't pay.
He added that he believes Jagdeo was very reckless in his comments, which places the city council in a very tough position. For HGP Nightly News, I am Daisy Richards.
We'll be back. Stay tuned.
Planning a cleanup? We can help. Sevon's Waste Management skip bins can be provided for home renovation projects, yard cleanup, or construction project. It's simple. Step 1, give us a call. Step 2, we put down the bin. Step 3, load it up with all of your junk. Step 4, we take it away. That's simple. Bins are also available in various sizes, so there is no job that is too big or too small. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455.
These nice products I cook with proper things. Peppies, you get the best and least. Oh no, bless up.
Okay. Pack up your things. Yellow. You put the things in the car.
Loving you is easy cause you're beautiful. Do-da-do-da-do. I love you and you and you and you and you. I love all of you.
Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
And you. I love Peppies.
Welcome back. You're watching the HGP Nightly News. As we continue with an eye toward increased economic integration, Guyana's private sector and the Dominican Republic have agreed to pursue regional trade prospects in the interest of both states. Antonia Day is on that story.
On February 18, the Private Sector Commission of Ghana, PSC, met with President Louis Abinada of the Dominican Republic to explore trade and investment opportunities and strengthen economic ties. Senior executives from the PSC, Ghana Manufacturing and Services Association, Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Ghana Oil and Gas Energy Chamber, and other support organizations made up the private sector delegation, which was led by PSC Chairman Kamal Singh. According to the PSC, discussions were based on improving regional trade between Ghana and the Dominican Republic and the possibility of establishing a tax treaty to facilitate smoother business transactions. The review of the existing CARICOM Free Trade Agreement was also highlighted, with a focus on the potential for greater economic integration. The engagement also focused on investment opportunities in Ghana, with particular attention to agriculture sector, particularly agro-processing and mega-farming, as well as the construction of a urea plant and development of deep water ports. Opportunities for Guyanese businesses to invest in the Dominican Republic and how the two nations could create complementary tourism products were also discussed at the meeting, Infrastructure development and the creation of backhaul opportunities for construction materials were also discussed for collaboration. I'm Antonio D reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
As the curtain came down on Black History Month, Kibwe Copeland, president of Ikemba Youth for Reparations, insists that true reparatory justice lies in focusing on disparities in access to education and other means of social development. Here again is Antonio Day.
Recently, Barbadian Prime Minister Mia Mottley, during her address at the 38th African Union Summit, stressed the need for reparations to cater for economic injustice and inequality.
I ask us equally to recognize that in an era where AI is threatening to redefine what humanity can do and even if we can survive, that it is not ours to be the victims once again of technology as we were with gunpowder, but it is for us to help shape the future of the world.
Kibwe Copeland, president of Ikemba Youth for Reparations, endorsed Prime Minister Mottley's statement in an exclusive interview recently and called for an end to disparities in the access to education and other forms of social development.
We're talking about funding educational institutes. We're talking about funding educational programs. We're talking about funding rehabilitational programs, because there's psychological rehabilitation that needs to be done. There's transgenerational trauma that has been passed down because of that period of enslavement.
Like Mottley, Copeland referred to the Battle of Adwa, a significant story in Ethiopia in which tribes that would usually fight against each other unified against the international invader, Italy. Speaking during Black History Month, the president of Ikemba Youth for Reparations emphasized the importance of African nations uniting and removing the barriers that suppress their people in poverty.
Have to take on. We have a responsibility for self-repair. She, of course, spoke about the limitations amongst borders with visas and transit visas, etc. And the need for us to remove those boundaries, creating a bridge, whether it be road, water, or land.
The youth activists expressed that the Caribbean was once a place where Africans feared going or being taken because of their lives were at stake on plantations and to some extent the door of no return. Centuries later, it is now a hub for unity and collaboration in the pursuit of progress or progressive cause, he added, turning attention to the 10-point plan on reparatory justice, which is currently undergoing revision. The Ikemba president called for fair access to development and compensation.
We have to take into consideration that after the Emancipation Proclamation in 1838, and then move into independence, most of our region and the continent were left with nothing.
I'm Antonio Day reporting for the HGP Nightly News.
Stay tuned for regional news.
Introducing Cool Kids 1 liter juice. Now with even more fun in every box. Choose from delicious apple grape, kiwi strawberry, or orange. Perfect for morning and afternoon time, the weekends, or anytime at home. Packed with vitamins A, C, and E, it keeps you strong, healthy, and ready for fun. Cool Kids 1 liter. A huge juice for more fun and more saving. We're Cool Kids living.
Interested in honoring or paying tribute to a loved one, or just making a loved one feel special? HGP TV offers you all that and more. Air your birthday greetings, death announcements, and wedding anniversaries on HGP TV today. HGP TV offers affordable prices, convenience, and great services. Call us on 220-3660 or email us at sales@hgptv.com.
Good evening, I'm Daisy Richards with Friday's edition of the Regional News. We begin with news from Chile. 15 years ago, on February 27, a devastating 8.8 magnitude quake struck southern Chile off the coast of Concepcion, shaking the ground for 4 minutes and unleashing a tsunami that left 550 dead. It was the deadliest natural disaster in the country since the 1960 9.5 magnitude quake, the strongest ever recorded in the world. Now, scientists are expecting a big earthquake in the country's mineral-rich north. Chile is the world's largest copper producer and the second largest lithium producer. The country's largest copper mines are located in the north, as well as all of its lithium production. Chile, a long and skinny country spanning 4,300 kilometers in length with an average width of 180 kilometers, has the Andes mountain range running all along its western border. Chile is located on the seismically active ring of fire that surrounds the Pacific Ocean. Its mountains and earthquakes are the product of the Nazca and South American tectonic plates crashing into each other all along the length of Chile. Dr. Mohamed Ayaz, a geologist and a geospatial engineer at the University of Santiago of Chile, says GPS technology lets scientists monitor plate movement for any variation and anticipate possible seismic events. While in Mexico on Thursday handed over major figures in the country's criminal underworld to U.S. authorities, part of a surprise extradition of nearly 30 jailed convicts or others accused of ties to violent drug cartels. Some are aging gang leaders who reigned over international trafficking rings decades ago, focused on cocaine and heroin. Others are much younger leaders engaged in moving large quantities of deadly fentanyl into the U.S. more recently. Mexican authorities confirmed officials handed over 29 cartel figures to the U.S. The decision follows ongoing threats by U.S. President Donald Trump to impose across-the-board tariffs on Mexican goods, which he said on Thursday would take effect on March 4. And internationally, a permit issued by the United States government allowing energy giant Chevron Corp to pump and export Venezuelan oil will be terminated this week, President Donald Trump announced Wednesday, ending what became a financial lifeline for the South American country. Trump's announcement in his Truth Social network accused the government of President Nicolas Maduro of not meeting democratic conditions for last year's July presidential election, as well as of not moving fast enough to transport back to Venezuela immigrants set for deportation. The administration of Joe Biden authorized the license in 2022 after Maduro agreed to work with Venezuela's political opposition toward a democratic election. But the election, which took place in July 2024, was neither fair nor free, and Maduro was sworn in last month for a third 6-year term despite credible evidence that his opponent got more votes. Biden's government for months then resisted calls from Venezuela's opposition and others to rescind the license, whose goal the U.S. initially said was to support the restoration of democracy. Thank you for watching. Do have a great weekend. Until next time.
Guyana and CARICOM concerned over U.S. sanctions on Cuban medical brigades. President Ali urges Guyanese to embrace traits of peace, humility, and righteousness during Ramadan. Jagdeo turns down Georgetown Mayor's proposal to reevaluate properties as a means of increasing revenue. And Mayor Mentor fires back at Jagdeo for pouring cold water on his re-evaluation of property tax proposal, accuses the General Secretary of micromanaging. Those are our major headlines. For these stories and more, please go to our website. It's www.hgptv.com. I'm Aletha Grant. Thanks for watching.